Hey, it's Matt here from Propulsion Games. In this video, I'm going to be talking about how we use spreadsheets to help with configuration management in our latest game, Orbitect. That's right, spreadsheets, love them or hate them. Spoilers, I love them. They can be used in all sorts of weird and wonderful ways, including what I'm going to go over today. So firstly, what is our game Orbitect and why do we need spreadsheets for it? Orbitect is a roguelike construction tower defense genre mashup where players use blocks and stat-based panels to craft a space station capable of destroying waves of space debris. Destroying that space trash earns the player money, gives them resources to repair, upgrade, expand, so on and so forth. So when it comes to balancing and configuring those elements to work together, there's a ton of parameters. For example, how much does a panel cost? What's its health? What's its strength, defense, speed, efficiency? How much to upgrade or repair? How much damage can it do? What description does the player see? When it comes to space debris, how massive, metallic or explosive is a given piece of space debris? How and when does debris appear? How much debris appears in a given wave? When it comes to bosses, when in the campaign do they appear? How difficult are they? So on and so forth, an absolute ton of configurable parameters in the game. Now thankfully we don't have to keep track of all of this manually, we have it all planned out in a big old spreadsheet, and then we use JSON files which Unity then consumes. If you're unfamiliar with JSON files, it's a format that stores data attributes and values. But what we then did in between this nice looking spreadsheet and JSON files was use spreadsheet formulas in dedicated tabs of the spreadsheet to recreate the information from the spreadsheet in a format that kind of looks like a JSON file in the spreadsheet tabs that we could then just copy and paste into the JSON files. So let's have a closer look at that. So here you can see on this tab, the right hand side kind of looks like a JSON file and the left side more of a traditional spreadsheet. And you can see I've used a number of formulas to get the values from our main spreadsheet and bring them into this format. So some of the formulas I've used include this one, char34. So what char34 will do is generate speech marks, because ordinarily if you were to put speech marks into a spreadsheet formula, it would hard code the value inside. It wouldn't actually generate speech marks. So if you wanted speech marks as the output, you can use this char34. Secondly, I've used indirect, which basically references another row and column from another tab. So you can see how I'm referencing this tab and I'm referencing this column and this row, which I can then drag down in this tab to change my reference, but keep certain things the same if I want them to. So then what you can see is it's looking into the certain cell I'm referencing and it's bringing the value in from that part of the spreadsheet. Lastly, I've used things like if statements as well as the left and len functions. I've also used if statements to work out whether a data attribute is a string, because if it's a string, you need speech marks around it, and if it's a number, you don't need speech marks around it. So for example, you can see here, the word defense is in speech marks because it's a string. If I were to say no, and then it takes them away. So there we go. That's some of the formulas I've used to make these kind of spreadsheet-based JSON template type things. On their own, these formulas individually aren't much to write home about, but used in this context and in combination with one another meant that we could super quickly tweak lots of values on a nice looking front-end spreadsheet that our designer James was using, and his design amendments would then go and feed the JSON files into the game relatively effortlessly. In fact, I ended up making a macro to do most of that copying and pasting automatically, so it was definitely effortlessly. And because of that, we were able to iterate and balance the game in a super efficient way. Thank you, spreadsheets. So if this is useful for anyone, I've made a public version of this spreadsheet, which I'll link down in the description. So yeah, hope it was useful. Check out Orbitect if you like weird indie games with a bit of an identity crisis, and we'll see you next time.